Yes, hello and welcome to another vlog from Bernhard Rider. Today we're testing out the Vogue or Vogue SR4 Max scooter. It is a 350cc scooter with 34 horsepower, at least that's what it says on the website. If it says 29 horsepower in other countries, I don't know why. Let's get to the controls, display and storage space. On the left hand side of the handlebar, first of all, we have the brake lever for the rear disc brake. It is actually lockable, so you can use it as a parking brake. We have a lever here, we push it forward and we have it locked now. If we just pull on the lever here, it snaps back and the parking brake is released. I think a very nice, nifty, handy and practical feature. The quality of the controls of the plastics leave a very good impression, very high quality plastics here. We have the a light switch here, high beam, low beam and passing light all in one. We have a switch here to open the trunk space remotely. We have an enter switch, which is for the display. We have up and down switch for the display. We have hazard light switch here. We have a turn signal switch here. In the middle, the reset is not really that easy to find. I wish they had actually put a different kind of system as a turn signal here. It works usually, but it is a bit finicky actually. We have a horn switch here. On the right hand side we have the throttle, we have the brake lever for the front disc brakes. We have two disc brakes, two. And we have a button here to start the recording. We have a front facing camera actually. We have a emergency cutoff switch here, which also serves as a starter switch. We have the on-off button here. We have a hook here for your grocery shopping. We get to the cubby holes in a moment. First of all, let's get to the display. So this is the display, TFT display, very nice, clear, crisp and sharp, easy to read, no problems there. We have in the upper left hand corner, we have the time and date. On the right hand side here we have the outside temperature. In the middle we have the speedometer, and actually here, which is hard to see at the moment because it's not turned on, we have also a RPM counter here. It's a bar graph. We have two different kinds of displays which we can switch around, classic or sports. On the left hand side we have the coolant temperature, and down below we have the trip. To the right we have the fuel tank capacity. In the middle, down below, we have the TPMS, the tire pressure monitoring system, which is quite handy. And we can get into the menu. I will not go into a detail with the menu. In the menu, you can actually also see the fuel consumptions, the tire pressure, and the tire temperature. We press the enter button for a longer period of time. We get into the settings here. And as you can see, you can switch the language. We have 4 languages: Chinese, English, Spanish, Italian. And we can set the time and connect Bluetooth and turn traction control on, off, and so on and so forth. And that's about it. So when it comes to storage space, we have 2 cubby holes in the front, right here and here. Maybe about 4 of my hands will fit in there. It's not really deep, so I don't think you can fit a half a liter of water bottle in there. On the right hand side, it's the same size as on the left hand side, but you also have connections for your SD card, which is for the front facing camera. We have a 12-volt socket here, and we have a USB 2 connection right here. To open up the seat, you press the seat button here. The seat opens up. We have a shock holding it in place, which is nice. We also have a courtesy light in the trunk here, right here, which shines onto your trunk space, basically. I have a Shark Spartan full-faced helmet. It fits in the rear, but I cannot fully close it. Just a few millimeters are missing actually there, so that's a shame. That it looks fairly big, but it is not so big, unfortunately. Maybe in the front you can put a small jet helmet, and that would actually work. So this is the Voge SR4 Max 2023 model year, and we'll take it out for a little spin. Let's go. So in order to get things started, we just push the little Voge button here. And we're presented with a display. As I said, we have 2 kinds of display types. This is a classic one, and you can also select a sports one. Let's start it up. As you can see up there, we have the RPM counter, which is also quite nice. Not really necessary on a scooter, but nevertheless nice to have. The first thing that you notice when you get on the scooter is first of all, the seat is very hard. The seat is very hard, and you have this lumbar support, which is also very hard, but you can press yourself into it. I'm 175. You have 3 nice seating positions basically, which is very, very nice. We have the first one here. You sit like on a regular scooter. You can put them up there at 45-degree angle, which is nice, and you can even stretch your legs all the way, depending on how tall you are, all the way to the front, and I can basically stretch out my legs fully, completely. This is really nice. One thing that I noticed when you're riding at very slow speeds is it seems not that stable. It kind of wants to tip over. As soon as you get a little bit higher speeds, there's no problem, and cornering is also quite nice, but at lower speeds it feels a little bit unstable. I did not notice that on other bigger scooters like the X-Max or Forza series. Anyways, the display is nicely readable. Everything is clear, crisp and sharp. Very nice display, I have to say. Also, the mirrors are wide enough on the outside of the vehicle. You can see everything clearly, what is going on behind you, and a little bit to the side, of course. And in general, the scooter gives you a feeling of fairly high quality, actually high quality. Everything looks very, very neat and nice. The plastics and everything, very nice. All of the plastics, they're the same kind what actually BMW uses. As a matter of fact, this scooter comes from the same factory where the C400 BMW is manufactured, so you can't really go wrong if you buy this, even if you say, hey, this is a Chinese company, I don't want to, I'm not sure. But you know, if you buy a BMW, it's also Chinese, so it's the same thing, it only has a different name. And now it is so cheap, actually. This scooter, it's a 350cc scooter. It's really incredible, and you can get it for 6,000 euro. That is really incredible. On the street, 6,000 euro. You cannot find this at Forza or the X-Max, definitely not. And go. Yeah, at higher speeds, it is very stable at higher speeds, but the windscreen is too small, it's too low. I'm not sure if you can adjust it maybe one notch up, but this is basically the wind flow goes just barely above my visor on the helmet. So it is very loud, as you can hear maybe. I have to scream into the microphone. I mean, of course it takes off the pressure from your chest and everything, but it's not really that comfortable to go riding, you know, on longer rides or at higher speeds. But nevertheless, you could do it, of course. You could travel. The boot underneath the seat, of course, also is not that great. They should increase it a little bit. I'm sure you can put a top box to the rear, and then you have quite a nice traveling scooter. If you put maybe something up here which deflects the wind from you. Other than that, it's a very, very solid scooter. Everything feels very sporty. The suspension feels very, very, like, yeah, actually very hard and very sporty, but gives you a very good feeling on the road and off the road. For all those control freaks, it really is a nice feature to have the tire pressure monitoring system there. At the moment it's a little bit high, but I mean, these tires are quite warm now, so it should be okay. It just feels like a very high quality scooter. And I mean, if you just think about it, this basically is a BMW scooter. If you sit on a BMW, you say, hey, of course, high quality, it's BMW. But this is a official Chinese scooter, you know, from Longines, from Vosges. Then you say, okay, oh, I'm amazed that they actually have this high quality. But yeah, that's what they do. And I've come to like actually Vosges for this, because they use high quality components. They have very nice tires, actually Pirelli on it, and that's what you need from a brand. You need confidence. Ooh, a lot of bikes there. You need confidence in the quality, and you know that everything they put on it is of high quality and emits some kind of safety to you, you know, that it's safe to ride. Anyways, also at higher speeds, as I said, pretty nice, except One big complaint is the windscreen. A little complaint is the not really that big space of the boot, of the storage space underneath the seat. Other than that, I don't have any complaints. It's a really nice scooter, and for that price I would definitely buy it. You know, if, as I said, if it had a little bit more space, because for me storage space is very important, that it makes the scooter very practical for me to use it, and I don't need to use my car, which in fact I don't have, so I would need a practical scooter. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with all my blah 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 here. That's about it. That's my test ride of the Voge SR4 Max. Thanks very much for watching. This is Ben Rideout. Take care. Bye bye.